Sago is a typical Eastern Indonesian food that comes from flour and comes from the stems of the sago tree. This carbohydrate food has the same function as rice or wheat, which are the staple foods of Indonesia in general. The existence of sago is so important for the people of Papua, including the Asmat tribe who inhabit the southern coastal region of the island of Papua. This food is like a source of life for most residents and is needed to support their daily life. Because of this, the Asmat people also have a ritual related to the existence of sago as their staple food. The Asmat women began to make up their faces with white paint which they made from the limestone of river clam shells. They began to make unique paintings on the face and let it cover almost the entire surface of the skin. Headdresses in the form of crowns of cassowary feathers began to be worn by some women. Indeed, most of them still wear modern t-shirts and shorts as clothing, but there are some of them who end up taking off their shirts and going bare-chested. These women are preparing for a ritual related to the Thanksgiving of the Sago Caterpillar dance. The Sago Caterpillar Festival dance is a result of the Asmat tribe's taste exercise, which means giving thanks for the abundance of God's blessings on their sago harvest. Usually the Asmat tribe performs this dance before and after the harvest season arrives. They do this because they believe this dance can please God. This art is a tradition passed down between generations and is an important part of the life of the Asmat people. This dance is a mandatory dance that must be known and can only be danced by Asmat women. This dance must be performed by women because for the Asmat people who work in planting and looking for food are women. Meanwhile, men generally hunt and make wood carvings. The Asmat women had lined up neatly and took their places in the Jew courtyard with around 50 to 60 people. The men surround them and take part in Tifa games to accompany the dance. Others sat around the Jew and watched the women start to dance. Initially, several tribal elders who played Tifa started shouting an encouraging shout which was followed by the responses of the dancing women. Tifa began to be sounded to form a tempo which gave a mystical impression in the dance. The atmosphere in Jew's room began to become quiet and the dance began. The hips of the dancers began to shake right and left, of course with the chanting of their song lyrics which generally contain thanksgiving for God's blessings. The dancers are divided into two large groups and face each other. They started moving forward while half squatting, shaking their hips. They continued to do this movement until the two large groups switched places and the Difa rhythm suddenly stopped. One of the Difa players began to chant a thanksgiving poem which was followed again by the screams of the dancers. The dance continues again and repeated several times until finally it is finished with 5 repetitions. The number of repetitions depends on the dance leader who is in control of the Thanksgiving. This dance, which is usually performed at the traditional Sago harvest party, really shows its charm. One of the typical Asmat dances does have its own magical charm. In contrast to other dances which generally tell stories about war or marriage, the Sago Caterpillar party dance is a thanksgiving for God's blessings and the Asmat tribe makes it feel very sacred. This dance is not only a cultural tradition of the Asmat tribe, but also a wealth asset for the Indonesian people, especially Papuans, before the world community. This dance is a local wisdom that needs to be learned in order to get to know Asmat's noble values more positively which can be applied in life.